If you think the beautiful people are only in Hollywood, think again. You've probably heard that old saying that politics is show business for ugly people. Well, maybe not so much. Some of them are right here in Washington. And the Congressional newspaper, The Hill, has revealed their annual 50 most beautiful people on Capitol Hill list. Here's Kris Kitto, the features editor of The Hill. Kris, how'd you come up with this?
Well, I do take issue with that saying. I think we do have some really good-looking people. We get hundreds of nominations every year. My inbox starts overflowing in April. So we ask our readers to nominate anybody who has any business on Capitol Hill. It could be a member of Congress, it could be a staffer, it could be a cafeteria worker. I don't care, as long as the person works on Capitol Hill. And then we whittle down the pool from there.
All right, well, we have a short video of featuring some of the folks who are on this year's list. Let's take a look.
I'm really surprised. I mean, I'm flattered, but extremely surprised. So I'm hoping my parents will be proud, and my dad's probably going to take credit for it, but I'm surprised.
Yeah, my office has started a campaign to notify as many people as possible, and right on my Facebook page, and so it's starting. I'm sure when this thing actually runs, it's going to be. I may have to stay home or something.
I am kind of, I guess, a little bit dreading when it actually comes out and having to walk in my office and have everybody glare and send it around via email.
I think that it's going to be hard to top this in terms of my journalistic career. It's going to be up there with my biggest achievements, I think.
Is Tucker jealous that you made the list and he didn't?
Undoubtedly, Tucker will have a hard time sleeping tonight, and probably for the next week over this. Yes. During the summer, we all need a little bit of entertainment and lightening up in D.C., and this is a good source for that.
Are you single, Alexis?
I am.
Yeah. Do you think this is going to make the boys come running to Senator Shelby's office?
I don't know. I guess we'll see. I guess y'all can do like a month checkup and see the month after number one or something.
Okay, the woman we just saw was your number one pick, right?
Yep, her name is Alexis Latifi. She works for Senator Richard Shelby, and she moved up here recently from Alabama. So she's been great. She likes to do the raw food. She's a raw foodist, which means she only eats raw foods. So she really has embraced Washington and all the Whole Foods markets. She likes to tour all the Whole Foods markets around the city. So it's kind of fun. She, is very healthy. I think she's a good number one for the list.
Okay, now let's talk about how you pick these people. I mean, how do you decide, and who decides?
Well, it's a tough job, let me tell you. I'm combing through hundreds and hundreds of photos. So we invite about 70 people to take photos with us. We use a professional photographer because I think it's as much about good photography as it is about anything else. So
yeah, there's a great layout in your paper.
Thank you.
Available online?
Yeah, there's a slideshow online too.
So thehill.com.
Yep, exactly. So you can find it in the print edition or online. So then what we do from there is we have about 30 people within our newsroom vote. This is a very democratic process in the spirit of Congress, and Alexis Latifi was on the top of the list. I think she was a great pick.
Okay, so now how do people get nominated? That's what I want to know. I mean, are there secret ballots?
Yes,
or?
It's all anonymous because let me tell you, I get people sending me emails with poems, with these long resumes, with photo spreads that you wouldn't believe. People really get into this.
Somebody sent this in?
Yeah, we took that photo. That's Doug Thornell from Chris Van Hollen's office, and he brought his dogs with him. So he had fun with it.
It always helps to have dogs, right?
Yeah, I think it's a great
Whether
photo.
you're trying to meet women or...
Yeah, I know, it's a good buffer, right, between relations. So yeah, we get people who write poems and do all sorts of things, and self-nominations, or parents. I mean, it's crazy. People really get into it.
Are there enough people on the Hill with a chutzpah to say, I'd like to nominate myself to be a beautiful person?
You'd be surprised. I mean, it does take chutzpah to be a politician, right? And Capitol Hill is a training ground for politicians. So.
Well, speaking of that, there are not very many members of Congress on your beautiful people list.
No, there are a few. The number one member, it's actually number 3, Kirsten Gillibrand, senator from New York. I think she's a great example because, you've seen what she's been through these past 2 years, taking over Hillary Clinton's seat, beating back naysayers and campaign opponents, raising 2 children, losing her baby weight from her 2-year-old Theo. She is really focused on her health amidst all of the other things she's doing. So I think it's pretty remarkable.
and a lot of staffers, but also a lot of those lobbyists. Now, the word lobbyist is kind of a dirty word outside of Washington, D.C.
It is, but they're people that we work with every day inside DC, right? So I guess it's, and they work on Capitol Hill, so of course we're going to include them in our list. One notable lobbyist, her name is Sarah Spear. She's great, she's a lot of fun, and she came to the photo shoot in an Oscar de la Renta gown. So she really made a splash and was a lot of fun to work with.
Yeah, you won't find many congressional staffers in Oscar de la Renta gowns.
I don't think so. So she sets herself apart in that way. She looks ravishing in it, so I'm glad she came that way.
Now, the other member that you chose, whom I noticed, there may be others, was Jesse Jackson Jr. Here's the picture of him.
Yeah, this is a great photo of him. He kind of underwent a transformation in the past decade. Jesse Jackson Jr. was on People magazine's Sexiest Man Alive list in the late 90s. He came to Congress, he ballooned to 310 pounds. He told me this, he had gastric bypass surgery in 2004 and now is really a health nut. He does yoga, he does martial arts. He is the leader of the members' gym, of the House members' gym. So this is a priority for him now, and I think he looks great.
That used to be Rahm Emanuel's job, right?
Yeah, I think Jesse Jackson has now staked out that ground.
Well, it's an interesting list, and I'm sure that now there will be even more people lobbying you next year to get on.
I can only imagine how early it'll start. I feel like it starts earlier and earlier every year.
All right, Kris Kitto of The Hill, thank you very much.
Thank you.